Hello, back with part 3, I think. So I've printed off the digital ephemera that I want to use within this journal, and I'm going to be using this lot and a few bits more. That, and we have some of these. It's generally what I use in my journals, so they'll be getting used. I want to quickly do my pocket for my front cover, the pockets that I've been doing in my journals recently, so that I can set it to one side and let it dry. So I'm just going to use some tacky glue, and I've got a bit of cheesecloth already done the sewing because I've had to move so that I could use my sewing machine because I have to sew this. So let me just make sure that's out of the way and that I'm in frame. Tried to get my tripod a little bit higher so that I wasn't like headbutting it or nudging it, or because that's normally what happens. It's my head that hits it, or my arms. So I'm just gonna glue around here and make sure there's quite a bit on there because I want it to stay on forever. Right. I'm just laying the cheesecloth on there, and then I'm going to, obviously I can't put my head right over because I normally would, and just guesstimate that that's kind of centered, and just press down on it so that the glue sticks to the cheesecloth and the underneath bit. I'm just going to trim off a little bit more of this, and I'll save that because no doubt it will come in handy for something. So I've already done my fabric ruffle, and I've got glue on my fingers. So my fabric ruffle is going to go on there, and again I'm just going to use this because it can sit. It's very warm today, so it will dry pretty quick. When I say it's very warm, it is absolutely boiling. So I'm just going to glue that down there, then just pull at this a little bit. I am going to use the Fabri-Tac for this so that it dries quick. So I'm just going to run a little bead of it along the centre here where the stitching is, and then just pop that down there and squish it in. Now sometimes your fingers stick to it, so I just use the end of my bond folder and just gently pat it down. Then a little bit of bling, 2 strips. So I'm just going to pop that on there because it worked fine on the other things that I done using it. It's good stuff, this is. And just pop that on there. So I'm just going to sit that up, or sit it to one side after I press it down a little bit more. So I'm going to sit it to one side. Right, then I've made what was left over from the cover, the cardstock I've used for the cover. I've made 2 pockets, so I'm just going to quickly glue them in. I'm just going to use tacky glue. And just being careful to get it right on the edge. I only do 2 sides, and that's so that you can slip something in easier. I don't know how people do tutorials all the time when you've got like a setup like I have with the camera in front of me, like the tripod is in front of my body and my hands are around the front of it. I used to have a better setup when I wasn't facing my window, but now I'm facing my window. I'm just moving my chair in a bit. Now I'm facing my window. I don't have the shelf in front of me where I used to like have my set up and the camera coming down onto me. So, right, so I'll let that go to one side so that that dries as well. Right, and you've seen the ephemera. Now, I've been making a couple of handmade-y things. Handmade-y things, is that a word? Handmade, like, tag. That's the tag that's going to go in the front cover, so I'll set that to one side. These are the little booklet things that I've been making, so I'm going to stamp and ink them up, and I've cut my tags. You can cut your tags from cardstock or make them with paper and fold it all over and make it nice and thick, glue it, sew it, but this is what I'm using. So for this one here I need to find my stamping blocky thingy. Right, okay, excuse me, these need washing. There we go, and I'm using the Memento ink. I do like the, I can't remember the other one's called now, it's Tim Holtz, starts with an A. Right, so that's that way. Are we in frame here? Yep. So I'm going to stamp down the bottom and up the top on these two. So I'm just, I didn't mean to throw that, but there you go. Then I was going to ink around it. I got glue all over my fingers, so I'm just gonna this must be so boring to watch, just like inking up around the edges, but I'm not very good at editing, so you get what you see here. When I say I'm not very good at it, I'm not really sure how to do it. I can put videos together and make them into one. I'm not sure about editing. I'm not sure if I've got the patience to sit there and try and work it all out. Just need to move my fan because it's starting to sweat in here, and we don't want that. Oh, that's better. Oh. I'm sorry if you can hear the fan, but if it wasn't on, I wouldn't be in here. Right, so that's them two. I'm just going to stencil them. Again, just using the, and I just roughly do it. There's no, so there we've got that one. I only do the front, so the back can be plain. So that is that one. Set that to one side. What else was I going to do here? Oh right, got this little stamp which I'm going to do on the inside of these little booklet things, and then ink all that up as well. If you don't want to watch the inking up, then just, oh, wrong ink, haha. That's because I'm talking and thinking at the same time. There we go. So I want this ink, the Memento again. Yeah, if you don't want to watch all the inking up in this part, then just skip it. So I'll let that sit there for a second. I've still got to come back in and stamp the front. And we'll take that off. That's me done with that one. I'm going to use, oops, I just dropped this silly thing. I had it all ready and it's, oh, where have it gone? Oh, there it is. Ta-da! So my stamps are not the cleanest. If someone wants to come over and spend the day sorting my stamps out and cleaning them, you're more than welcome to. So I'm just going to ink that up. and make sure it's right round the right way, and let that dry. And then I'm going to use the one that says believe you can, and you're halfway there. And now my fingers are all inky because I haven't cleaned my stamps. Haha. So that just goes on there. Leave that to dry a second. And I'm going to be good. I'm just going to wipe these stamps. Oh, they're really dirty. Right, now I need to wipe my fingers because I found before when I use them, and because I don't clean them up, the print on my finger doesn't dry as quick as I want it to, and it transfers onto whatever else you touch. So keep your stamps clean, and then you won't need to keep washing your fingers. Right, that's as clean as they're gonna get. Right, now I'm gonna ink them up in a minute, but first of all I'm gonna stamp these tags, then I'm gonna ink them all up in one go. So I've got out my stamps, they're all wooden block ones, and am I in frame here yet? Because I need to make sure that I am pretty straight with these. So that's that one. Oh, I've made a right mess here. I'm going to turn that to the side so that I can, oh, not bad, considering I couldn't put my head right over that. There we go. Make each day a story worth telling, and story begins. And the Tiffany and Co one, or Tiffany and Company. It does say Tiffany and Co on there. I do know it's Tiffany and Company. I was told off for that once. There we go. Right, I think that's pretty much all the inking. Right, where's my thing gone? So I'm just going to ink them up. Trying to do it pretty quick. You can lay them down and go over them like that, but it takes ages. So I quite like doing this. It gives it a more rough look. Now I've just transferred some of the ink from my finger because my finger is damp. Not damp, but it's taut in here. Getting kind of a lot of moisture in my hands, but because I'm going to stencil over it, you're not going to see it. Don't know if I've done the back of that other one. Now this is Saturday. I'm wondering how long these videos will take to upload because I have to do it through Movie Maker, because my iPhone only allows a 15-minute video to upload straight to YouTube. I don't know why, but that's how it is. These little bits are tedious, but they do make a difference to your project. So it is worth just taking a few minutes and inking them up just to make it look a little bit more vintagey. and this one. Oh yeah, I was supposed to show you before I started doing all this, I've actually glued the pockets and things into the journal, so obviously before I start putting all this in, I will quickly show you that. Oh no, one more tag, and I would normally sew that, but I will sew that at the very end and show you when I do a complete flip through of the journal. I'm not going to waste time with a sewing machine. How long are we on now? 15 minutes. Well, if you've stayed this far and watched the other videos, I'm not sure whether to try and put them together or not. Just thinking the upload time will be like a week, knowing my luck. There was one day in the week I couldn't upload anything to YouTube. They just kept failing, and I was driving me crazy. Right, so what was I going to do now? Right, I'm going to leave that out of the way just now, and I think I'm going to show you. Right, it's the front of the cover. I've put these on like you saw earlier. I've just put paper clips onto the flip so that they're ready, and I'm not fiddling around doing that. I've put my flip here and another pocket, well not pocket, but tuck there. I've put the pocket that I made on here. This one I've left, I'm going to paper clip on, but the other one I glued so that it's all in one piece. In fact, I will get a paper clip now and just pop that on there and slightly under the doily. The other flip out, that's there. Pop this one on here, and it's open at the side so that you can slide things in, so it's easier to slide things in. Another flip there. Oh, and this is where I've probably glued something. Yes, no, yes. Yeah, this is the one that I've glued because I glued it in and forgot I wanted to stitch it, so it was like, oh okay, so I glued it once it was on there, so it's just, this one doesn't flip out. And this is the booklet envelope pocket thingy that I made, and the other pocket. Right, so let's go and start putting things inside. Right, and what I normally do is I normally set the journal to one side and I make little bundles of things so that I can kind of go through and take things from them. Oh, I'm not finished here. I need to stencil this. And my tags. Alright, so that's that stenciled. How quick that is. I thought you was going to stop seeing me inking things up. Right. And what I'll do is I will just put the ribbon or lace or whatever on afterwards as well before I do the flip through. Otherwise you'll be bored. I love watching process videos, but some things like inking up, I'm like, I get distracted and start doing something and then I forget that I'm watching a video, so I have to start again. Yeah, if something takes forever, I do lose concentration. I'm like, quick in, show me how it's done, and I'll do the rest myself. So, right, let's sort them out, and that's that. The tags, the little tags. There's that, there's 4 of them. I just like to see what I've got, if you know what I mean. Oh, I'm going to have to set stuff over to my left. It's just how I work. I know you're not going to see everything, but I'll just be picking things out of little bundles. It's just how I do it. I bet you we've all got a weird, quirky, strange little ways of how we put things together. This is mine. So I set it out like a meal. Right, so the one that says book belongs to, I always try and put that in the front, and then on the next pockety type thing, wherever it is, I will put the story begins. And this is how I go, this is how I do it. Might not necessarily put a tag in that, but it will. Why won't that go in? Oh, there we go. It's because it's tight. And I do just work around it, as in one thing at a time, and then I'm saying that I'm going to lie now and put another tag in here. Oh, actually I'm going to put that behind there, and then put this, the ephemeras are all from Tsunami Rose and Artemis. So I'm going to put that in there. See, I'll come back to these in a minute and shove other things inside there, but I generally do the pockets first. So we will have you in there, and might actually, have I got any little tags floating around? I do somewhere, I know I do. There'll be, oh, there they are, and everything's going to fall out, and I'm going to fall off my chair. Right. Oh, I've made a right mess. You don't want to see what I've just done. So I'm just going to ink them up, and I will put some string, ribbon or eyelash trim through that when I'm done. So I forgot about that little dinky pocket. So that's that. So I'm just going to pop two of them in there. Oh. In here, does that will fit in there nicely with one of those. And I'll come back and I go backwards and forwards through the journals. Gonna put that in there with that in the back. And we could put this in there as well. And need, oh, my dogs are going to start barking now. Somebody's come in the back gate. Can you hear that? Crazy dogs. So I'm just going to pop that in there. This tag will go in there. I'm going to go back to the front again. Sorry if it's making you dizzy, but this is how I do it. And we'll do that one in here. And let's start doing these. So I'll put that in there with the journaling card. And this here with one of those. Let's do this side, try and balance it out a little bit. I'll put that in there with one of these. Now I haven't stenciled on the pages in in this one. I'm not doing it a lot at the moment because I'm stenciling other things. I don't want it all to be like stencil, stencil, stencil. Right, so let's scoot about and see what else I can add. Now, is that going to fit in there? It is. And I'll put one of these in. And will this fit on there? It shall. I need another paper clip. And that. Why won't that fold? Oh, there we go. I need something to put down the back of there. Might actually have to make some more tags because there's quite a few flips and all sorts in this one. I'll rummage through my books and find what's there. See, I need to find something. I've got another one of these, so I'm just going to pop that in. It should still be written on and used, and have this big tag. And because there's flowers in this, this is from the sunflower kit. I'll just pop that in there as well. That's why I love having my big box of bits and bobs. All the bits that I don't use in one journal will definitely get put in another. So that's pretty. I'm going to tie this in a bow. This is wax linen thread. I've been using that to make a change. That's what I started off using years ago, and then I went on just to the linen thread. So as you can see, look how chunky that's got. So now I'm going to glue on the pocket for the front after I pull away at the cheesecloth a little bit. Just how long is this video? Oh, another nearly 30 minutes. We will have it's like a feature length movie. You just kind of play around with it until you get what you want when you do that. Right, so that will go on there. I'm just going to put a bit of glue around the three sides so that the top is left open for the tag. And trying to keep my hand straight doing this. So I normally just leave that for a little bit and then just go backwards and forwards and press it down. As you can see, it's just lifted off there, so it's best to leave it flat. I normally kind of do this before I fill it all in, but obviously because of the video I needed to let this dry first. See, I've got inky fingers. Right, so what I'm going to do next is just might add a few tiny little bits to this and add some ribbons and stuff, and then I'll come back and do a flip through. So I hope some of this was useful, and if it has been, then leave a comment, give me the thumbs up. If you want to give me the thumbs down, please yourself. Seems to be getting quite a few of them lately, well, about 1 or 2 in each video, and I just think to myself, well, why watch? Why watch if you don't like it? But hey ho. But yeah, no, it would be nice for some feedback. If there's anything else that you want to see me do or try, then put that below as well, and I'll see if I can come up with anything. So yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this, and have a nice evening. Well, it's evening here, or a nice day or a nice evening wherever you are, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye.